Welcome to the Frost Render Lab. Get ready to render your imagination. In today's video,
most people think that real-time landscape architect is just for plants and pavers. But if you're still building your houses as simple boxes, you're leaving half the realism on the table.
Welcome back to the lab. I'm Robert Frost, and today at Frost Render Lab, we're thinking outside of the box, pun intended. We are building a complex custom home shape from scratch. Before we dive into the grid, do me a huge favor. If you want to master high-end 3D rendering and landscape design, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Make sure you watch to the end because I've included 6 game changer alerts. When you see this handsome face pop up on the screen, pay attention.
Hey everyone, this is the first of a bigger training we're going to do on a large project, but the first training and the first piece of this is really important because we're going to tackle complex house shapes. As you can see from this picture here, I'm going to put up our example house and our example property, that this has some interesting kind of cutouts into the house. You can see the California room, which is that paved area that cuts into the first floor. You can see the balcony on the second floor, and there's kind of a peaked roof at the top. There's one way to do this where you can build the whole house and then turn it into a model and kind of cut into it, but it doesn't allow you to add windows and add details and add trims to that house once you create a model. So I'm going to show you a way that we can do it without doing all of that. We're going to start here by creating our house. Go up here and I'm going to create house. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to set our grids, the bottom left here, to 0.5, which is a half a foot. I feel that you have a more precise snap grid going on, especially when you're trying to design to scale and be more accurate with things. So as I zoom out, I want to create this house on somewhere in the middle. Click my first point, and you'll notice that you can get pretty draggy here when you do that. So here's a game changer tip for you. If you hold shift while you're down, you're going to snap to the vertical, or if you're going sideways, you're going to snap to the horizontal. So since I'm going down and I want it to be straight, I'm going to hold shift as I do it, and I'm going to create a 63 by 63 box for this house. I'm going to throw up here the design of this house on the side so you can see what I'm going from, and complete the shape of this box and go to perspective view, and we can see that we have now 63 by 63 box. So this obviously looks nothing like the house in the picture, but it's a place to start. In order to create this house, as I mentioned, we can't turn this into a model and then deduct from the model, because then we can't edit it later. We can't add windows, we can't add doors, we can't add trim. We can't really do much to it to customize it. And that's the whole point of what we're doing here, is getting sharper, customizing this space so the clients can see where they live and what we're doing, so we can sell them the project, sell them the design, because we pay attention to detail and that's what we do, right? So the way we're going to do this here, I'm going to first choose the wall material to match the picture. So I'm going to go over to the wall material, click on the icon here. We know it's stucco, so we're going to go down to stucco. Here's our color we want. That's close enough. We can see in the example photo that there is no white trim on the corners. So we simply just scroll down here. Add corner trim is defaulted yes. We're going to click it off no, and that turns that off. And we've got it here. Let's change the roof for now, although we don't really need to, but since we're going to copy this layer 3 times, as you'll see in a minute, we might as well change it now. So if we scroll back up, change the roof material, and the roof material, though you can't really see in the picture, is a Spanish tile. Go down to tile, scroll down, look for something that works. 132 looks good. Oh yeah, real nice. That's what we're looking like at the top. However, the house doesn't come down on this side and down on that side, so we're going to fix that in a little bit. To create this house with these cutouts the right way, or at least the way that I know the best way to do it, is to do it in 3 different layers. So the first layer is the first 10 feet. So the wall height here is 10 feet, as you can see here, and that's perfect. But what we don't need is the roof on the first level. So if we go down to pitch overhang, bring that to 0, it just makes a flat roof on top. And that's what we're looking for. So what we want to do is go back to the plan view and then create the floor plan of this house as though the top didn't exist. So how we do that is, let's zoom in and go to edit points, go to insert points, and then let's insert some points here to create that California room for the first floor. So the bottom's broken into kind of thirds. So let's see, it's about a third there. Add another point to the side, then drag it up perpendicular. It looks about maybe 7 feet. Then we're going to come about another third over, which we called about 20. Another one that goes further back, this one, so let's call it 12. And then make that perpendicular. So we've created the floor plan here of that bottom level. Go back to perspective and you can see what we've done. We've left some space for that California room. To really complete the effect here, we can create a patio. Up here to patio. And just outline this shape. I'm just left clicking. You can see how it stops you when you're perpendicular here. Click that and then finish that. And it gives us this kind of funky paver pattern that was popular probably in 1974, but not anymore. We want to get rid of the border because we just want concrete. So in the border, you go to border type, flat to none, and that's going to remove the border here. If you go up to the material, again, we want concrete. Go to concrete. Builder concrete is pretty white usually, so we're going to make it white like that. And all of a sudden, we have the California room like in the picture with the first floor cut out. Okay. Now we want a second floor. The easiest way to do it is to select the house itself. We're going to copy and paste it, but we're going to do a special paste. I'm going to copy, Control C. However, I'm going to paste in place, which is Control Shift V. And the difference and the nuance there is that the copy and paste normally, Control C, Control V, paste it a little offset, which means you paste it onto the actual grid, but it's not directly on top of where you had it before. And then you have to kind of replace it to do different moves. This becomes more important later on. But by copying it in place, Control Shift V, it places it directly on top. So when I'm creating a second layer here, I simply have to pull on this green arrow up, and then it locks in, and I've created a second floor. If I were to just normal copy paste, this would have been offset. It would have been harder to go directly up. Copy and paste in place, Control Shift V, does it right on top of itself. Now obviously this does not look like the image because it's got these extra cutouts that we don't need on the top. So what we should do is make sure this is selected, go back to plan, we're going to go down to edit points, and we're just going to delete the points that we don't need. So what that means, you can actually just left click and drag over these points we don't need. They highlight red, hit delete, and they're gone. Grab the point we want to move, bring it back down a perpendicular, and then end it by hitting edit points one more time. And when we go back to perspective, you can see that we've created that closed area on top. Here's one more game changer point that's going to allow you to work more efficiently in the future. It's hard to see in here with what's going on because the lighting's a little funky because the light's coming from the right to the left right now. You can click on the sun and then you go north direction. You can change that so that you have a better view. Let's move this out of the way. You have a better view so you can see the shadows going into the space you're working. It's going to be a lot easier to see what's going on there. So if we reference again the photo that we're looking at to recreate, we can see that the balcony sits directly on top of this cutout space, and we want to recreate that here. So that's pretty easy. What we do is just, you can do it in plan view, you can do it in perspective view. You're going to make sure the top layer is selected, edit points, insert points, and just insert a point along that, and it's going to click to what's below it. It automatically snaps to it. Add one more point, we're going to go back, it snaps to that other point. We're just going to follow it until we create and add points to snap to the shape below, but we don't need to go that much. That's just for demonstration there. Really all we need to do is cut out that area there for the balcony. Now you're saying, why isn't there no floor? Well, we're not that far. Slow down. Edit points to lock that in. And we're going to lock in the floor in 1 minute. We're going to build the roof first. So just like we built the second layer, we're going to build a third layer. So make sure that's still selected, which it is. We're going to Control C for copy, Control Shift V for paste. And that's the paste in place special command, which is the second floor. We're going to again raise it up to meet that. And voila, we have a big top ceiling. However, if you look in the image itself, the roof is only about a foot or two above the balcony line. So this whole level only needs to be 2 feet, and we don't need the balcony cut out. So if we again go to edit points and we drag the left mouse and select those two and press delete, we get rid of them, and we've created a roof on top of that balcony. I'm going to click edit points to go back just to the whole shape, and then I'm going to scroll down to wall height, and you can either use your scroll bar or just type in what you want. I want 1.5, which is 1.5 feet, 1 feet 6 inches. If you do 1.5, it'll default to 1 feet 6 inches. And now you can see I've got that little top on top of the balcony, which makes it essentially a ceiling. However, we're missing the roof. Well, that's easy enough fixed, because the pitch, we can just go back and we can scale it up, or I think I want a 22-degree angle to match the roof. But the issue, which I mentioned before, is that all 4 sides are coming down, which does not match the shape of the house. So what I want to do is edit the roof. By doing so, make sure that that top layer is selected. Go down to edit roof type, which is at the bottom of this panel here. When you do that, you can hover over all 4 sides of the roof. You see them turn yellow. And when you click each yellow one, it gives you an alternate roof style. And you can just scroll through by clicking, left clicking, which one you want. Now that's the first one, which has a little bit of an overhang. The second one has less of an overhang, which you'll notice on the picture, the reference photo. It has less of an overhang than the front and the back of the house. So I'm going to go with that one. And then I'm going to switch over to the other side. Here's a game changer tip for you. If you right click the mouse, you can orbit view. It keeps your mouse in the middle of the screen, wherever you left it, and you can orbit view just by dragging your mouse around. That is the easiest way to move around your property, up, down, around, left, right, however you want to do it. While we're here, let's go over a couple other shortcuts here. If you have a scroll in the middle of your mouse, you can scroll in and out to zoom. Similarly, you can hold left and right mouse at the same time, and you can zoom the same way. If you do have a scroll, it's much easier just to go in and out the scroll. And if you do have a scroll mouse in the middle, you can press the scroll down, and it goes side to side, and you can zoom in and out. So that's all my controls here. I can hold the right click and orbit. I can hold left and right and zoom in, although that made a difference there. I can right click, orbit. I can scroll in and out, and I can hold scroll and move left to right and not change my perspective. So fixing this is easy. I can just again go to that, scroll through until I get the one I want, go to the other side, the one I want, and now I have a roof style that I'm looking for. And this whole design, I'm not focusing so much on this side of the house, so I'm not really going to develop it, because that's not the renderings I'm going to show the client. It's mostly going to be from this side and then facing towards where the camera is right now. So for now, the roof looks good, all the levels look good, I've got all my cutouts properly, and we can start to build the final details. So to go back, I'm going to hit edit roof type to get back to square, and we're going to start with building the floor of the balcony, because no one wants to stand on that balcony right now. We're going to create a patio just below it, and the patio looks like this. It's not what we want. What we do want is we want a 1 foot thick, maybe call it 1.5 foot thick patio. So we want to adjust the thickness of this by going to height and selecting 1.5, and it's going to make it thick. We don't want a border, this right here. We want to go down to border type, go to none, removes the border. Now here's the ultimate game changer here to help your workflow and just make your work way quicker. How do you get this the same color without having to scroll through and remember what colors you picked and all this other stuff? Go to something that has the color. It can be any of these levels of the house. Click it. Go to the wall material here, but go to the caret drop down to the right. Click copy. Then go to the material you want to change. Click that. Go up to the material, drop down, paste. Now you simply duplicated that property of the color in texture and everything else, so it's all the same super easily. Now since this is directly below where we want to go, we simply left click on this green arrow to elevator it up, and we can zoom in a little bit and just make sure that we're in the right couple of steps to make sure we're good. One down. That's pretty good right there. So now we have the floor to our balcony. Simple as that. We created a patio, made it thick, created the entire material to match the stucco, and that was it. And as you probably surmised by now, we're going to create the pillars on the California room to be something similar, but we're going to call it a retaining wall this time because we want to build vertically. So I'm going to go up to retaining wall. I'm going to snap onto this corner. I'm going to go along for 2 feet. To end that, I have to right click, and it's going to build my retaining wall. I want to apply the material here that's and everything else, so I'm going to click on anything with that material. Again, go down the caret, copy it, go back to the new material, paste it. So now I've got that, and all I have to do is change the height of this to then create this pillar. So walls, always new walls default to 5 feet tall. So we can either just scroll it up. It doesn't really matter how high it is in this point because it's going to blend into the roof itself. Next, we want to copy and paste this, pull it out, and there is the square on the right hand side which makes it bigger or smaller and scales it. This one rotates it. So if we hold shift and rotate it, it's going to stop at 90 degrees, a perfect 90 degrees. We're just going to place it back in here on the wall and try to make this flush. Here's a game changer tip for you. If you hold shift and then use your arrows in the direction you want it to go, each arrow click while holding shift micro nudges it. So that's an easy way to get it really flush. And as long as you don't see a little mark there, you know that it's completely flush. So if we were to go inside and look at this from the other side, so we're looking out from the California room, you can see that this has the notched out like an actual pillar does when a builder will build something like this. So if we're going to complete the side left walls with the window cutouts, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to copy this, Control C. We're going to copy it in place, Control Shift V, because we don't want it to move. And once that's copied in place, we can grab this blue arrow with the left mouse, click, and just pull it out to where we think that opening is going to be, something roughly like that. And that looks pretty close to what we're looking at in the picture. We need one more, Control C, Control Shift V, and then we're going to pull it out again to create this window illusion. This is a little bit wider, as you can see in the picture, than that first pillar I just made. So what I want to do is go to Edit, Points. I want to click on the right button here, and I want to make this a little bit wider. Yeah, 3.6 looks good, 3.5 feet. Grab blue, find somewhere that's the middle, Maybe one more to the left. I can also hold shift and nudge it so it looks good to be in the middle. And I've got my windows roughly matched out on either side there. But what we're missing here is this little wall in the bottom. So we're going to create one more retaining wall from this point to this point. I'm going to right click to end it. And it's going to make the wrong material, but we know how to fix that now. We simply have to get rid of the rough cut cap. We're going to go back to any other material that has the one we want, copy, go back to the new one, paste, and we've got the bottom wall. So these retaining walls, again, default to 5 feet tall. This one's probably only 3 feet, so if we scroll down, type in 3, and all of a sudden we have 2 matching windows to match that. One more pillar to make in the middle. I'm going to copy, Control C. I'm going to paste in place, Control Shift V. It's going to land right on top of itself. Drag it with the red. Try to line it right up with this. It's a little off. I'm going to fine tune nudge it. I'm going to hold Shift, arrows, and voila, we have a perfectly shaped house with all these nuanced cutouts that's going to allow us to modify everything later in a perfect way. If you have any questions, you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you have requests for new videos or what else you'd like to see, or have a question about how this was done, please send me a message or leave a comment, and I will answer as quickly as I can. Please enjoy, and let's get designing.